Hey guys, JG here. Before this video gets started, make sure to subscribe to the TMK channel for all of our content. We got JG's Movie Night, we got Look Ma No Helmet, and our newest edition, Obscurities of the Silver Screen. Now, it isn't necessarily a new show. Obscurities is a podcast I would do with Remy Grey, and we watched movies we never heard of with zany titles. Now, we're interested in making new episodes for YouTube and podcasting platforms, but in order to do that, we need your help. If you like this podcast and you find it funny, you want more, help us get this video to 1,000 likes. I know that sounds crazy, right? But hey, let's shoot for the moon, why not? Tell your friends about it, share it on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, I don't know, is Tumblr still a thing? Let's do that too. If we all band together, we can resurrect this amazing show. Thanks for listening to my little spiel, and now sit back, relax, and enjoy Obscurities of the Silver Screen. This week on Obscurities of the Silver Screen, our two heroes go into the movie they know nothing about and come out knowing even less.
Dum 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 diggy dum dum. Dum 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 diggy dum dum.
Who are these dashingly handsome heroes of ours? The Knights of the Silver Screen.
And I'm not Dum Dum Diggy Dum Dums in the David Bowie and Queen sort of way. I'm talking about ice. I'm talking about
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice!
Let's get obscure. I am JG. That is Remy. And welcome back to week 6, episode 6 of Obscurities of the Silver Screen.
Wow, that's a lot of weeks.
I know, right? I'm JG, and this is Remy. And so this week we watched we watched Cool as Ice.
Yeah.
Starring the one and only Vanilla Ice.
And it's great because I have a cold, and the only thing cooler than being cold is also ice cold, but also vanilla ice.
Yeah.
And is also just cool as ice.
I'm going to start off by saying this movie was fucking amazing.
I love this movie. Okay, I love Vanilla Ice. Not even as like an ironic joke. Vanilla Ice is great.
Yeah. No, it was just everything you either loved or hated about the 1990s was in this movie, basically.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't even know where to begin with this. I mean, it's just part of me felt like this should have been like a watching. It's like this was a major motion picture release, but it should have been on TV probably instead. I don't know.
I mean, I'm glad that it was a major motion picture release because then more people got to see it.
So
whoever decided to buy a ticket to the Vanilla Ice film.
So I'm sure like 1991 go like, hey, fucking Vanilla Ice is in the movie. Let's go fucking see it, man.
He's 24 years old.
Yeah.
He's so young. And half of his hair looks like a brick wall while the other half is like a dope like zebra cut. And then he's got like a pompadour on top and sunglasses and changes his hat constantly.
So a pretty interesting note about this movie is that it is based on a Marlon Brando film called The Wild One, in which Marlon Brando basically plays like, he's part of the Black Rebels motorcycle club, and he's like the gang leader. And they ride into this town where like they're causing trouble and mayhem, and but he falls in love with a woman there. Right?
And it's the sheriff's daughter.
Yeah, and the sheriff's like, bad boys, and all this stuff. So that's basically that movie. Essentially, that's what this movie's about. Except they're not like a biker gang. They're more like a hip hop crew.
They're like a dance crew that just happens to arrive on these
stupid little like sports motorbikes.
Whoa. They are not stupid. These are the coolest bikes I have ever seen in my life. So imagine like these like street bikes that Lisa Frank just decided to paint one day. So we've got like neon green and black zebra stripes on one. One is just pink. Vanilla Ice's, I think, is just yellow.
Yeah, just straight up yellow.
Like they're all like highlighter colors,
which they totally missed out on opportunity. His should have been like this like icicle pattern.
Ooh.
Why didn't they do that? That would have been sick.
It would be too... Nah, I like yellow. It's just like bright and obnoxious, and he's like, "Yo, what's up?"
The thing is, like, when you imagine like a biker gang like riding into town, you're like, all right, Harley Davidsons and everything, and there are these guys with like their big jackets and their colorful like fanny packs and whatnot, and they're just like
Vanilla Ice wears two fanny packs at one point. He has one in front and back,
and they're just like listening to some sweet hip hop tunes, and it's like yeah. What's up, guys? We're not trying to cause any harm. We're just trying to have a good time.
But remember, it's like 90s, so it's not like it's not quite aggressive hip hop. It's more like pump up the jams.
Yeah.
Like too many jams on the dance floor.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And another quick note before we get into like the movie itself is that the director of photography was a guy named Janusz Kaminski, who just 2 years after doing this movie was the director of photography on Schindler's List.
So you can tell that this Vanilla Ice film was about to be really dark.
Yeah. And like, I know like, he's the director of photography, so he doesn't have like any, he doesn't have anything in like jurisdiction with the story or anything. He just makes it look good, which he made it look pretty awesome.
It looks great. The entire movie is
sweet.
A music video.
The funny thing is when I saw that name, the first thing, because Kaminsky has a long-standing working relationship with Steven Spielberg. So like the first thing I thought about was, oh gosh, this is the guy who did Indiana Jones: Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. But he's done he's done Minority Report and Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List, like I said. So he's done some amazing films.
And Cool as Ice.
Which
is great.
Yeah. You'll all see after we're done talking about this movie that this movie is awesome, and you will agree too. And you should vote for it. You should up the vote on IMDb because it's at 2.9 out of 10, and that is a tragedy. Because this movie is a solid 5 out of 10.
I mean, I guess I won't really dispute that. There's a huge part of me that would be like, nah, dude, at least 8.
No,
but no, I know.
But this show, though, 5 out of 10 is damn, that's a really good movie for us,
Yeah.
So, okay, let's get into it. So it opens up with, woo!
Yes. So a beat starts playing, and I think some text popped up being like, it's like intro credits or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to a woman yelling, woo! And then the music really starts. And then it cuts to a Vanilla Ice music video.
Yeah. And there's this, at the very beginning of the movie, there's a Naomi Campbell's in the beginning of this movie, who's a model from the 90s and whatnot. But she's in it for 2 seconds, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Because her character literally is girl at the bar at the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
That's exactly it.
And then moving on.
So yeah, it has a sweet Vanilla Ice song, and they're just dancing around to it. It takes freaking 7 minutes.
Yeah. The song is really long.
Because at one point I was like, oh, it's been 5 minutes into the movie. Then I look at the time, it's been 15 minutes. What? It was great. I loved every minute of it. And this, Six Sock Monsters, it had a lot of music videos just randomly in it. But these music videos were awesome.
Yeah, well, Six Sock Monsters had random music videos. This one was when you have an emotional moment in a movie and then it could become a montage where it shows the character being distraught or whatever. You don't get the character distraught montage. You just get a Vanilla Ice music video where he's dancing and then jumping around.
Dancing his heart out like Kevin Bacon, man.
He was... Instead of punch dancing, he is just break dancing.
Yeah.
And it is equally as tear-jerkingly emotional because, of course, his passion is in his body.
Definitely.
I don't think that's the sentence I've ever said.
So we get into the actual movie, and we see Vanilla Ice and his gang, they're cruising down the highway with their bikes, and then we see this girl on horseback. Now, this girl becomes a much bigger part of the film. She's the other main character in the movie. So her name is Kathy, and she's riding on horseback, Yeah. And then Vanilla Ice decides to race her.
Up. He's he makes those eyes at her that make her want to race with him.
Yeah.
And he's on his Lisa Frank motorcycle.
Right.
And she's like, okay, I'm game. Let's do this. So he speeds up, and then her horse is just faster than the motorcycle
somehow.
So he does a sweet jump For the record, they are side by side. He is on the highway or freeway, or it's a 2-lane highway.
Yeah, and there's a fence between them because she's on the grassy knoll, like next to
the
plains.
So she's on his left. He's driving, cuts into the opposite side of the street that he should not be driving on,
right,
to be closer to her, and her horse has more horsepower, than his motorcycle does. And she's like speeding up. So then he does like a jump out of nowhere. I don't know what he bounced off of, or if he just used his icy, sweet, cool dance move legs to just pounce off of the ground over the fence into her side of where she's riding.
Then made the horse, buck her off.
Right, because a motorcycle just almost landed on the horse.
Yeah.
So then
kind
she
of
falls.
A dick move.
Yeah, no, that kind of sucked. But he still looks cool.
Yeah.
And so she falls off. He lands and is like, "Hey, what's up? I'm Ice." But he doesn't say that.
No, his name is Johnny in the movie, which is the name of the Brando character in The Wild One. It's actually named Johnny as well. So cool little Easter egg reference, I guess.
Because this is based off of a Marlon Brando film.
Yeah, which just adds more joy to this movie, I think.
So she falls off the horse, and because I actually don't quite remember, and I don't think we wrote it down. So she falls off the horse, dropping a black journal.
Yes.
And I think I think Vanilla just like fucking
he swipes
picks it up.
He just swipes
immediately, puts in his pocket, and then turns on the charm and is like, "Whoa, you fell off your horse. That sucks." And he even makes the comment like, "You ride like a girl," and she's like, "Oh, you're so charming.
You're a macho biker."
Yeah, on that Lisa Frank bike,
right? And so then like that happens, and they try to make it look like it's an insignificant thing that'll be significant later, kind of deal. And then they get into town, and his buddy Jazz,
which is the coolest name,
right? Jazz's bike breaks down. He can't start it up.
So
it's like dead in the middle of the street, and these people, like, there's these cars, instead of going around, they're just like honk, honk.
There's 2 cars, and it does not show in what order these cars are, or if they're like side to side or whatever. It just cuts to like a close up of the car and the driver.
Right, with like some granny,
It's like this elderly woman, and she's just like frowning harder than anyone has ever frowned, and she's just looking, being like, these kids. And then it cuts to this other guy, and he's just honking, and he starts leaning out of the window, being like, hey,
get out of the road.
While Ice goes over to Jazz's bike and it's just like fondling the side of his bike.
Yeah, he's like, I'll fix it for you. Yeah. And he's like not even doing anything to it.
So we were thinking like, what's wrong with his bike? Like, is it not starting? When they came to the stop, did it like not stall? Is it not idling? Like,
at any rate, though, they had to like tow it, right? They had to tow it to which they just rope it,
Yeah. So
lasso it like it's a horse.
So all these people in line are honking at them, and then like 30 seconds into just straight up them honking, the entire biker gang crew just stands up and looks at the honking people, and the honking people go like, "Oh, whoops," and dip back into their cars as if they're intimidating.
Right,
and
which
then
they're not at all.
Cut to Jazz's bike being towed by Vanilla Ice, and Vanilla Ice has, like in cartoons, or, I mean, I guess just any classic movie, when somebody gets out of their 2-story house to sneak out, they have like 3 bed sheets tied together, and they like crawl down the side of the house.
It's literally what they were pulling his bike with.
That's what they pulled his bike with, and we were wondering where they got those bed sheets.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they pull up to like this bike shop, auto shop, I guess.
It's like a local mechanic shop. This is a very small, what does the trailer say, a 60s town?
Oh, like the trailer inaccurately said it is a 50s town where the people dress like they're from the 60s, but they listen to music from the 70s.
Until
Vanilla Ice comes along
just
and brings them into the 1991.
Yeah.
Yo. Yeah.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they tow Jazz to the little
mechanic.
Hicktown mechanic.
And then they're just kind of stuck there for a couple days, I guess, until they fix the bike, which...
Well, the mechanic says something, being
the mechanic is like, I want to buy your bike.
Yeah. He acts as if they called earlier to sell a bike, so I think he thinks that they're somebody else, or he's trying to swindle them.
It was not explained at all.
Yeah, no, he has a really weird interaction. He's just like, you called earlier, I'll take the bike for $500, no less. And then Ice is like...
Bike's not for sale.
Nah.
Nah, man.
Yeah, and then they don't buy it, so then he's like, I'll fix your bike, but you have to stay with us until
for whatever
it's fixed.
Reason.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like Southern hospitality, even though this seems like
where are they
even? It's a town from the 50s.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't even know where the hell this is supposed to take place. And then we cut to just randomly, Jazz is making a sandwich.
Oh my god! I completely forgot about this whole section.
And it has, first of all these people, they just have these different shots of them just sitting around, just kind of doing nothing with sweet hip hop in the background.
Because they took in that Southern hospitality. Now they're hanging out with the mechanics in their weird, like, modern art house.
Outdoorsy modern art house.
Yeah, because they have like weird things in front of the mechanic shop. There's a bunch of glowing globes.
Yeah. And there's like a world map painted on like the roof.
Yeah.
You know? But
so now they're hanging out in the house. Like the whole bike crew is hanging out in this old mechanic's house, but the inside of the house is like very like modern, like I said,
Andy
modern.
Warhol would be proud.
Yeah, totally. Like there's weird art pieces everywhere that's like actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so Jazz starts
just making a sandwich. And so he's got his peanut butter on there, which is pretty cool.
He flops down some white bread, peanut butter with pickles. And then he adds the giantest can of anchovies I've ever seen. I mean, I don't mind anchovies. I've bought anchovies. It's literally that little can that you roll back. Or if it's not, it's a small round one.
Pickles and
sure, but he grabbed like
sandwich.
A tub of anchovies
and just dumped it on.
So he just slaps those on top of the pickles.
And he's not done yet, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope. Next comes up. Oh shit,
mustard.
Is that the next one?
Yes, it is mustard.
Okay. So then he does like a giant S of mustard,
and then he puts pineapple on top.
Felt like there was another ingredient. No, that was it. That was pineapple. That was it, right?
And then just put the
top bread on
and
takes a bite. And then cut to nameless girl. Unless they
had two people in the gang who like were not named at all.
Yeah.
Because you had just Jazz and that's it.
Yeah.
And they didn't even ever say Jazz's name. The only reason I know that is because I looked it up on IMDb.
Oh shit! Should we? Never mind.
It's too late now.
Nameless girl.
Yeah. We don't do enough research on this show, and that's just how it's going to be, so deal with it, fuckers.
Yeah, you're listening to it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. I think that's going to be my new tagline.
And that's the episode. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
We don't give a
shit. That's the ending theme music, because we have that.
Right, yeah.
Anyways, so this is a giant montage of everybody hanging out in the house and eating weird things.
Yeah,
because after the
Ice
sandwich,
practices his sweet moves.
Oh yeah. So it goes like Jazz making a sandwich.
Yeah.
And then it's like, he does the sardines, and then cut to Ice like outside, shirtless, but with his jacket.
Yeah.
Like he just took off the jacket, took off his shirt, put on the jacket, and he's like practicing some breakdancing. And then it goes back to like, now I'm adding like a mustard or whatever.
Yeah.
And then back to Ice dancing.
And people just kind of like sitting around doing nothing.
And then it goes back to the girl that's hanging out with the crew.
Eating pickled eggs.
She's eating pickled eggs.
Yeah.
They're blue pickled eggs. And I love pickled eggs. I've never seen them blue. And then there's this actually kind of cool shot where it looks like the salt and pepper that's on the table that her plate is on top of, that she's eating pickled eggs off of. She's like eating it, and then she goes to reach for the salt and pepper, and it looks like the salt and pepper are close to the camera.
Oh, right, yeah.
But it's literally just Andy Warhol, giant
salt and pepper
giant
shakers,
salt and pepper. So then it's like a weird illusion, and we're like, wait, what's happening? Like it's a weird food montage.
Yeah.
And they're getting their bikes fixed. And Ice is practicing dance moves.
And we're 20 minutes into the movie not knowing what the hell this movie is about.
Yeah.
And so then Vanilla Ice, like, he finds Right, because he got Kathy's book, Black Book, and so she
Kathy is
tracks
horse
down,
riding girl.
Yeah, he tracks down her and finds out her name is Kathy and whatnot, and then we meet Kathy's boyfriend Nick, and Nick is kind of a douchebag. He's a dick.
Yeah,
and
Ice even says nice to meet you, Dick.
Yeah,
I mean Nick.
And Vanilla is all oh, Kathy, yeah, cat, and all this stuff, and they're trying to be really smooth and real charming, and then he tells her, lose the zero, get with the hero. And then just walks away.
I mean,
he's not wrong.
He's a poet, so I totally understand where he's coming from.
A modern day Ralph Waldo Emerson.
I mean, yeah.
And so then we find out, we go to Kathy's house, Vanilla Ice is gone for 2 minutes, the only 2 minutes he's not in the movie. And we find out that Kathy is this really smart student, she's the wonderkin of the town. She has a 4.0 GPA. She got 1,600 on her SATs. She's gonna be in this horse competition, I guess.
I totally forgot that so we find this out because she's on the news.
Yeah, she's on the freaking news.
Her whole family, once Ice is done practicing his dancing and everybody's done eating weird food, she's just on the news.
Yep.
And it goes to her family and her house, and they're watching the news about her, where it's here's this grade A student. Also, she loves horses, and she's really good at that.
Yeah, so this is when we find out that she's a high schooler.
That's right.
Yeah.
Also, she's a high schooler.
Yeah, and Vanilla Ice is 24.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing she's 18.
Fingers crossed.
I hope she is.
Yeah.
I
mean, at least that would make the movie at least 20 something.
Yeah, but that would make the movie really weird. Anyway, oh yeah, and this is so. I just want to say though that Kathy's boyfriend Nick has the greatest outfit in this scene because he's got the polo shirt tucked into his light blue jeans with a braided belt.
Yeah,
and he's got the loafers with the socks on.
I mean, this movie came out in 91.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is totally those dad jeans.
Yeah, but
that
he's
go up
18,
too high, and the butt's super long. Yeah. It's cool back then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
But I just
loafers with no socks.
No, but he's
with
wearing socks. Yeah, what a dick. You know,
Nick.
And, Nick the dick. And then so we saw that and it was okay, he's a fucking asshole. And then we go to we cut to this bar in nobody knows where, and this guy is watching TV and he sees the news and he's hey, turn that up. I know that guy. Because, Kathy's dad is on TV as well with her. And and he's I know that guy. And he's gets the phone. He's hey, I see him on TV right now. It's what the fuck is that all about?
Yeah.
So that was really random and weird. Okay.
I mean, this is why this movie's so good. They have, suspense. They have dance breaks.
They're going different places that you don't know where they're going to go, but then it's awesome.
If you like anything in life,
watch this movie.
Cool as Ice, yeah.
So then Kathy can't find her black book. And
For the record, her black book is, I guess, her diary?
Or her journal or whatnot, yeah.
I realized just now, as I'm trying to figure out what her black book was, I think it's just straight up her diary.
Yeah. Definitely. And she's trying to find it. And then her little brother Tommy is playing video games on the TV, and he's why don't you just think about where you were and trace your steps?
I wish I could be as cool or ballsy as this little kid is.
Yeah, this kid is fucking awesome.
This kid is way cooler than I will ever be.
And she's saying okay, well, then I went to Nick's house, but I didn't touch it. And then
the kid laughs.
referencing the black book, but then the kid's
and she's not like that. And the kid's whatever. Dick touching,
yeah. So then the mechanics totally took apart. We cut back to the mechanics and the crew at the mechanic shop, and instead of so Jazz's bike is not starting, it's an engine problem or whatever.
Or I was thinking
or battery.
It had to be battery. Yeah,
something.
Because he stopped at a stoplight and then it wouldn't idle. I guess is his problem. It was not specific what was going on. Because he wasn't trying to start it.
Yeah.
He was just
But either way,
oh,
something
my
is
bike
wrong
ain't
with
working.
it. But definitely what was not wrong with it was the assembly of the bike. Because these mechanics took the entire bike apart, piece by piece.
And just to paint a picture of these mechanics, imagine like American Gothic, that painting, but like fatter. And that's it.
Basically.
Yeah.
And then every time like at the mechanic shop, they're playing like this weird like, circus music in the background.
Every time they
like
talk to these guys.
Something like you'd hear on like, We Sing videos like from like the late 90s, but like this is like a feature film like in theaters, and it's like bum 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 bum.
Yeah, like I don't believe that anybody wrote this song for this film. I think they just found it and were like, "Fuck, I guess we have to have some music."
Right.
Yeah.
I guess.
So they go back to Jazz's bike, and it's like, "Oh, is it fixed yet?" And then the mechanic's like, "Well, here's what it is," and they took apart everything.
So now they're stuck there for like 2
all
more
of
days.
his Lisa Frank style like bodywork
those
is
fucking
just on the
dicks.
floor. But then they rearranged every nut, screw, bolt, piece, starter, gas intake. I'm trying to think of any other part of a mechanical piece. Yeah, exhaust, muffler,
everything in like itemized,
key.
Yeah.
and he's got it lined up, so it's all organized, like as if he's gonna put it back together. But I don't think he found the problem. I think he just took everything apart.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And he does say, you can't put something. The mechanic he drops some wisdom for a second, and he goes, "You can't put something back together until you take it apart." And everybody kind of agrees.
He's
and
not
I'm like,
wrong.
I mean, he's not wrong,
but it
also
defeats the purpose.
You can't.
Like
I can't rebuttal that with anything. It's just like, yeah, you're right. Why did you do that to my bike?
Still, why did you do it? Okay, and then so Vanilla Ice goes to Kathy's house to like be like, try to like pick her up again, and then
sup, girl?
Yeah, but then we find out that she's at the Sugar Shack,
which is a great place.
Which is the club. Every kid like is there just chilling out.
Yeah.
So yeah, they go to the Shake Shack. But then there's like those two goon, like the guy who's at the bar, like he's with like some other goon, like outside, like of Kathy's house, and we don't know what the hell they're up about.
JG made a really good analogy or reference to what these guys are like. It's the Home Alone invaders.
Yeah, it's definitely like them.
Yeah.
And Home Alone came out after this movie, so they totally stole it from this movie.
Well, because everybody loves this
Or did
film.
Home Alone come out in 1990?
No. Home Alone was 1990. This is 1991.
So cool as I stole this from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck them.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. We still don't know what they're up to. It's still kind of shady.
Home Alone don't got any dance breaks, so...
Yeah. Then we get to the club, right? Vanilla Ice shows up with his crew, and like everybody's like looking square and everything, but Vanilla Ice and his crew, they look awesome and dope as fuck.
Yeah.
And but then we see Nick and Kathy, and Nick is like drinking away, and Kathy's like totally not cool about that.
Yeah, she's like, I don't drink.
That's wrong. And then we cut back to Kathy's parents' house, and like the thugs like knock on the door, and they're like, "Oh, Gordon, Sarah." No, we're not those. We're not Gordon and Sarah. We are, or no, Jim, Sarah. Yeah, no. My name's Gordon. I'm not Jim. What are you talking about? And they're like, we know who you are, and we want our $500,000 back. It's like, whoa, what the hell? That kind of just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So that,
little espionage action going on right now.
Yeah. So that happened.
Yeah.
Then we go back to the club. And Vanilla Ice just like, he gets hold of a microphone and just breaks it down for everybody and just shows his sweet moves and sings
wild.
a song.
It's there is a band playing at this point, and they're doing like
crappy music.
I'm sure it's fine if we listen to more than like 10 seconds of it.
Right, well, but the idea is that it's crappy music.
What was the line that the singer said? He like leaned off the stage and goes,
"Look me in the face." Yeah.
So it's like this.
That's what that was, because I wrote that down. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Look me in the face. Yeah.
It's sort of this like Stray Cats style thing. It's like if Stray Cats were like really shitty or something.
Yeah.
And
listeners,
so they've
we're
got
being
this like
very,
kind of rockabilly vibe.
Yeah.
But then
listeners, our references are strong tonight.
It just cuts to the singer, and he's like close to the camera with the microphone, as if he's leaning off the stage all cool to sing into the audience. But all we get is just cut to the singer saying, "Look me in the face." As if that's the cool part of the song, but that's all we got.
Yeah.
So we're just like, whoa.
But it's okay because Vanilla Ice takes over and makes the party cool.
Yeah.
You know,
As
and
ice.
he's like, yeah, cool as ice. And he's just rapping, you know. Then he pulls Kathy in to dance with him, you know. And then
Dance?
And then, because then at one point, he just like throws her on the ground and he just like starts like dry humping her.
Yeah,
and
as
she's
he's
like totally,
rapping.
Yeah, and she's like totally cool with it. She's like, oh my God, yeah, Vanilla Ice, I love you.
Because I know
in front of Nick too, like right in front of her boyfriend.
If
like
I've ever been charmed in front of my boyfriend like that, I would. Especially
how
just
I would
being
want to be charmed in
thrown
front of my
onto the
boyfriend.
ground and being rapped at. I would totally be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
This is awesome.
You know, fuck you, boyfriend, go away.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
I want to be wrapped up by Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
And also like humped and on the floor. And also she doesn't drink, so she's just totally like, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, after the song is over, like Nick pulls Kathy away and like takes her outside and and Nick shows his true colors.
Oh yeah, Nick is a
This motherfucker
Yeah.
slut shames her.
Yeah, he says slut 3 times.
Yeah, he's
to
like, you're a
her.
slut. You goddamn slut.
He's like, you're a slut, you're acting like a slut.
You're
and then
being a slut.
He also says, you don't drink, so you're just a slut. And then she's
They like tries to molest her.
Yeah, he like gets close. They're kind of calming down. The argument is like cooling down. So then he starts like going to kiss her neck, and then she's like, stop. And then he's like, no.
He's like,
And
what,
then-
are you saving for like some stupid frat boy or something like that? Like
Oh,
really
wait,
kind of
wait,
some
what,
shitty
what
stuff.
What did he say? It was you're saving it for some super,
frat boy.
Stupid frat boy. Or some idiot like that.
Yeah.
I think he says.
Yeah.
Or like some wild fucking, or just Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like really.
So she says no.
Like, now, ladies and gentlemen, we respect women, and we were like, fuck this guy. This guy's
Well,
a
immediately.
dick. And in fact, then Kathy took charge of the moment and said, Nick, you're a dick, and just left him.
Yeah.
And he's like, come back, come back.
No,
and she
he
just keeps
doesn't
walking.
say come back. He says get in the car.
Get in the car.
And
That's
then
right.
he slaps the back of his car as if it's like
Some piece of ass.
Yeah, because that's all Nick knows.
Get in the
He's just
car.
He's like get in the car. Why are you walking away? Why are you still walking away? I'm being so friendly. Get in the fucking car. Come back. Why? I don't understand why you're not coming back.
I only tried to grab
slut.
you.
Get back here. I don't get it.
Why are you walking away?
So he just cries, and then cut to just Vanilla Ice kicking his ass, right? Or
No,
wait,
yeah, we got ahead of ourselves because like,
sorry, spoiler.
Like, yeah, spoiler alert, but we'll get to it. Kathy's like walking home, and then it's like the thug's car is like following behind her.
Oh yeah, the
You
wet
know.
bandits.
Yeah, they're like following behind her, and then she's like, shit, there's these cars, and like I gotta walk faster. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Vanilla Ice like cuts in front of this car.
Right, like was he stalking her?
I guess so. With his motorcycle, by the way. He's on his
Right,
motorcycle.
right. He's still
And
Lisa
just cuts in
Franking
front
up.
of their car, and she's like, get on. And she does, and they drive away.
And he goes, "Who were those guys?" And she's like,
I don't
And he's
know.
like, "Great."
And he takes her home.
And he does that like squinty smile with the eyebrow, and then pulls his sunglasses down at night.
Yeah.
and
And
is
then-
like,
And then Vanilla Ice confronts Nick, like outside, like some, I don't know where the hell they are.
So it just
Looks like a
cuts
bar.
to a parking lot.
Yeah. And like Nick is there with like some guys, and they're just like hitting shit with these clubs. They're
Yeah.
just hitting shit. Like they're not even they're just like bam, bam, bam. I hit stuff with this club.
And for the record, it's the stuff that you can only possibly hit outside, like in a parking lot. So
Yeah.
it's like bottles and like a cup.
And Vanilla Ice just like shows up and she's like, "Hey Nick," and just punches him in the face and just like takes down all these guys around him.
A dude comes
by
at,
himself.
A dude comes at Ice with a baseball bat. Ice just
Grabs the
diffuses
bat, yeah.
the problem by grabbing the bat, like you know the classic like punch, and then you grab the punch. It's a baseball bat coming at you, but you just grab the top of the baseball bat, and now you have it.
Right.
And he's beating people with the handle side
So
of the baseball bat.
Vanilla Ice in this movie is the greatest fighter who has ever lived because he just one punch and you're down, and
Yeah.
that is how good Vanilla Ice is.
And also, nobody fights back. It's like
they
they'll
just take it from him.
they'll wind up for a punch and like hold it until Ice comes back to punch you.
Yeah. And then, so he like just clocks Nick, and then he just like walks away from all these like guys just laying on the ground after being defeated by Vanilla Ice's awesome karate powers. Right. And just says, "See ya, dick," and then walks away.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Kathy in bed. It is morning now.
Oh yes, yes. I was kind of scared when this scene started happening because it's sort of one of those like da 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 da, like waking up in the morning,
right?
And she's like stretching. She's in a little nightgown, and then it cuts to like a close up of her face, and she's like barely opening her eyes, and it's like, oh, I'm just waking up, and then like water starts dripping on her face, and she like licks it, and then just fingers drop down. It's a very close up of her face, and then fingers drop down with an ice cube. And I want to think that Vanilla Ice was like, yo, we got to drop an ice cube in her mouth. Like, and the producers are like, what? And he's like, yo, that's that shit though. Straight up fact.
That's love. That's romance.
Love. So yeah. So she's just waking up, and then we just see like water dripping into her mouth, and then fingers shoving an ice cube into her mouth. She wakes up kind of being like, that's cold and cute. Whoa, why are you in my bed? And Vanilla Ice is just there in her bed in the morning. Like, how long has he been there? She doesn't know. Like, it's a surprise that he's there.
And then he says, let's not wake mommy and daddy.
Yeah. So he's like, he like got there at some point, waited for her to start waking up, drop some ice in her mouth, which also I think is his tagline. Like, yo, I'm just gonna drop some ice in her mouth, and then wants to bone now that it's morning and everybody's waking up. That's not normally the MO how that works. So they're like kind of getting into it. And I think he says something about like let's leave, let's blow this scene, let's blow this popsicle man stand.
Yeah, well, because she's like, she's like, well, I have to change and everything.
And he's
like, all right, change. Like, and she's like, you think I won't do it, will you? And he's like, all right.
He literally just shrugs, being like,
I know. And she like takes off, she like unbuttons one button,
and then my boy Tommy busts in, and he's like, hey guys, the little brother, and he's like, whoa, is this your new boyfriend? And she's like, no, I don't know. And then he's like, all right, I'll come back when you're done making sex. Tommy knows what's up.
Yeah, Tommy is a sentient, like 8-year-old, however old he's supposed to be.
I don't know when kids get brains, but he got one really early.
He got one at like early, you know? Yeah. And so like, then Vanilla Ice,
he dives out of the window. Wait, is that what you're about to say?
Yes, and it's a 2-story house.
So he's just like, later, and then just goes out the window, and then it just cuts to him like landing on his feet. Like we don't see him falling.
Nothing happened.
It's just him being like, huh. Yeah, and then he runs, and they have like a white picket fence. Is that the term?
Yeah.
I just always think picket is like picketing, like.
No, yeah, white picket fence, yeah. I'm striking, yeah. No, but white picket fence,
yeah, it's a white picket fence house. And it cuts to him like slow motion running across their lawn and doing a sweet jump where he lifts both his feet over the fence and then runs and then stands on his Lisa Frank motorcycle for a second.
Right.
And then takes off. And he's gone.
No. No, he doesn't leave because Kathy is like gets on because she like gets dressed and she gets on, and then they go to this construction site.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
you're right.
They go to this construction site, and Vanilla Ice opens up about how it's like, he's like, wow, it's really nice having parents and a brother. I didn't have that, kind of stuff.
I'm a loner. I'm a rebel.
And then she asks him, "Where are you from?" And he says, "It ain't where you from, it's where you at."
Right now, I'm with you. Straight up fact. And I think that's the coolest thing to toss to the end of any sentence.
Also, in this scene, we see that this motherfucker, whose name is Vanilla Ice, has a tattoo on his right upper arm that says ice.
And it's literally like he rolled up his sleeves, like I think either
just
the
to show off the tattoo.
Yeah. It's either Ice himself or like the the Schindler's List director of photography.
Yeah.
Was like, wait, you actually have that tattoo?
We need to see it.
Can we roll up your sleeve real quick just to show it off? And he's like, yeah.
And then they're running around the construction site,
and by running around, it's like Jungle Gym, but slow motion with romantic montage music.
Very dangerous.
Yeah.
And then,
I mean, shit's not finished.
And then, I know, right? And then Vanilla Ice drops some more
wisdom.
knowledge and wisdom on us, because he says, "If you ain't true to yourself, you ain't true to nobody." Then he says, "Live your life as somebody else, you ain't living." Straight up fact.
Straight up fact is my favorite.
Yes. Like, that's going to become our, thing now. It's just, straight up fact.
I mean, it is. It's spoken by Ice himself.
Our Lord and Savior, Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
And then they kiss. They share this passionate kiss. And Vanilla Ice goes, they kiss, and Vanilla goes,
Oh, yeah. They, I mean, sure. I guess we've been building up romantic tension, although all he did was beat up her boyfriend.
Right. Sure,
they
why
kiss,
not?
and he moans. And it was kind of just jarring for a second, because we understood that the kiss was gonna happen. It's a movie. Right. Like, this is gonna totally.
We know
happen.
they're the love interest. They're the love story.
It's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that the kiss was gonna happen, and then Vanilla Ice goes like, It's like, oh, okay.
It's just also at the 45-minute point of the movie, halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
Which is so weird, because then we have a montage of them riding horses and motorcycles and being in love and everything, and just laying in the desert, looking like they're gonna hump and whatnot. And
yeah, it is super weird because it's
Vanilla Ice just puts his balls on her.
Yeah,
legs.
He scoots up until
nothing but balls is touching her.
Definitely his dick wasn't touching, but he got close enough that the balls were touching.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah. And this is all in the montage, and that was probably the longest, montage scenes. It's a clip here, a clip here,
and
then it was
7 minutes.
It was the scooting until ball touching and then giggling moment happened that was way longer than any other clip of this montage.
It really was.
But also the fact that they did leave the small town that they were in to go to this construction site, which is who knows how far away.
Probably 10 miles away from town.
It's literally a vacant desert valley out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then I guess they just hang out there.
Yeah, and so then he takes her home, and then Kathy's dad is like, I forbid you to see him. He's, he's a bad person.
Yeah,
he's
he's being protective dad, which is fine, I guess, because Vanilla Ice is sexy, and your daughter's running away with Vanilla Ice,
right?
Ooh.
Yeah, and then Kathy's dad tells her basically what's going on. He's like, "Hey, my name isn't Gordon Winslow. My name is James Hackett. Your mother's name is Sarah Hackett. We used to be a rookie cop." And I was a squeaky clean cop, but my partner wasn't, and I ratted him out. And now, these other cops who were in on this, whatever mob scheme they were doing, they're after me. So, your mother and I had to go into witness protection, and we moved here and became the Winslows. And she's like, my whole life has been a lie. And he's like, I've been doing this to save you. So do not see him, for your own safety, for your mother's and brother's safety, and for my safety. Because Gordon totally thinks that Vanilla Ice is with these two goons.
Like we said, the two goons look exactly, I mean, not exactly, but they have the same exact vibe of the Home Alone invaders. And then there's Vanilla Ice, who has one side of his head shaved into bricks, and then the other side of his head shaved into zebra stripes.
Right.
And then rides a Lisa Frank motorcycle. So obviously he's with these two New York mobsters.
And Kathy's dad told Vanilla Ice you can't see her tomorrow or ever, and I so wish his comeback was, but what about yesterday?
Straight up fact.
Straight up fact. And Gore's like, well, shit, you got me there, son. Ah, damn. Oh well.
And then he does a sweet jump over the fence and rides away.
Right. But so then the next morning, Vanilla Ice shows up and he's trying to pick up Kathy, and Kathy's like, no, I can't.
Whoa! We missed a little moment. Sorry.
Sorry to
bring it back. While they were jungle gymming around in that desert construction house, Kathy gives him her ring.
Oh, right.
She
Yeah,
gives
this
him,
is
like,
important.
a promise ring. I mean, it's not even explained that it's a promise ring. She's just like, it's straight up like a gold, like, wedding ring. And she's just like, here. And he's like, yeah. And then takes it. So now they have, like, this thing going on. I'm just saying because that's going to come back later.
It's going to come back. Yeah. So Vanilla Ice is like, Kathy says, like, I can't see you anymore. Like, it's over between us.
And he's like, damn.
Who you being? You're not being yourself. You're not living your truth.
Fact.
Straight up fact. And so then, angry and depressed, he pops some sweet wheelies.
Oh yeah,
and just drives off.
Like a Dirty Dancing or like Footloose moment where he's like pissed.
Yeah.
So he takes it out with dance. Except he's on a motorcycle, so he's like leaving and he's like, oh, I'm so pissed, and like does a wheelie and like goes out to the desert again, and then he's like lounging on his motorcycle, like propped up, like he's got his feet on the handlebars, his head on the very back of the bike, and he's just like hands behind the head, chilling, just being like, shit, I'm so sad. and then like it's like 5 different clips of him doing different sad poses on his motorcycle in the middle of a desert.
Yup. So then Vanilla Ice like falls onto this couch in the mechanics like area, like just like this,
which was jarring because it went straight from him in the desert, and then he just like drops what we thought was like he just dropped off of his motorcycle, but then he landed on like a red leather couch on grass.
Which is like, where the hell is this? But then we saw the globes like in one shot. And it's like, oh, okay, he's in the
back of the mechanics.
Yeah. And then Tommy shows up with like a sweet new hairdo.
Yeah.
He's all do up, and he's got like this motorcycle helmet
and jacket. He has a cool dope jacket.
So like Tommy's
now.
like coming around. It's like the ice life,
Yeah.
And he's like
ice.
Yeah.
Little Nilla.
Yeah, little Nilla. Yeah. And he's like, I want to let's go for a ride. And Vanilla Ice is like, sure, little man, let's go. So they go for a ride. And they pass by Nick at one point, and Tommy totally flips him off.
Yeah!
Like this 8-year-old kid just flipping him off. And he's like, yeah, fuck you, Nick.
Because like Tommy's got like a busted nose, and he's like wearing bandages.
No, Nick does have a busted nose.
Yeah. Jesus, sorry. The kid is fine. He's hanging out with Ice, so of course he's cool.
And then, Vanilla Ice drops off the kid at the house, drops off Tommy at his house.
Yeah.
And then the movie takes a dark turn.
For the record, right before we get into dark turn, it gets so dark.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys are wondering what's going on with the rest of the entire bike crew and the mechanics.
Literally nothing.
So it cuts back one time to the entire bike crew teaching the old American Gothic mechanics dance moves.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
So the old guys are hip.
Now they are. Yeah.
Moving on.
And so
let's get dark. Let's get really fucking dark. This movie takes a turn.
Yeah. But don't worry, people. It does have a happy ending. So just if you get a little too scared, don't worry. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
We can hold our hands.
Yeah, we're gonna hold your hand through this. We'll get through this together.
Yeah.
So Tommy
enters his house. Ice into your mouth.
So Tommy enters his house, and he hears a noise. Hello? Who are you? Who's that?
Oh, whoa. What's up, kid? I'm just one of those mobster guys. Yeah, me too. And we're just like in your house. We're friends of your dad. What you doing here?
I don't know who you are.
Yeah, well, we knows your dad.
I'm gonna call the cops.
Yeah, you better call the cops. Why don't you run and grab that fucking phone, kid?
Dial 911.
Yeah, dial that 911. Go ahead, do it. Yeah, you just keep fucking dialing while I'm pulling on the phone cord. The second you dial that 911 and answer and they say hello, I'm pulling that shit. All right, kid? Pulled that shit.
Yeah. And then they basically ransack the house and kidnap Tommy.
Yeah.
These fucking assholes.
Yeah. That was a pretty good bit that we just did there.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I think we did
actually pretty accurate as to what just happened. Yeah.
And then they like just take him out like the back door or whatever and like just take him away.
They do like mess up most of the house and they
mess up Kathy's room.
They do go into
mess
Kathy's
up
room
Kathy's
and fuck
room.
that shit up.
Yeah. Then Kathy comes home about like 30 seconds after they leave.
Yeah, or so it seems. I imagine that time has passed, but they did not give that.
No, they didn't. So she comes home, TV's on. She's like, Tommy, no answer. Turns off the TV. Goes into her room. Does not see the ransacking that took place. Just looks at, we forgot something important. right before little Tommy was kidnapped, Vanilla Ice totally went into Kathy's room and dropped the ring into Kathy's
again
like
with the ring. For the record, the ring really doesn't matter that much, but that is a big detail that they made.
He drops it into her fishbowl.
I just want to acknowledge their detail because this is the one moment that they tried to make a thing happen.
Yeah, so he drops into the fishbowl, and then Tommy gets kidnapped. Yeah, and then Kathy goes into her room completely unaware that everything is fucked up and like shit's thrown around, and just sees.
But she does notice.
She walks into her room and clocks the fishbowl.
With the ring in it.
I would not be able to notice a damn thing at the bottom of a fishbowl if I walked into a room.
But she barely notice my room.
Right. Just go in there and just fucking fall into bed if you make it to the bed. Yeah.
You know? Story of my life.
And so, like, she just sees that and she's like, oh, Vanilla.
I do really like.
They have like this. They have like a 5-minute just like montage of them just like staring off into nothingness, just like sad and upset that they're not together anymore.
Because Ice is hanging out, just being with his crew at the mechanics shop, and they're all dancing with the mechanics, and Ice is just like, damn. And then she's like hugging the fishbowl, staring at fish that aren't looking at her, and she like leans back and is like, Vanilla.
Some real Jack and Rose shit going on here, man.
Yeah.
So then, like, Vanilla's friends are like, man, you're hooked, man. You love her. You're so into her. He's like, nah, man, I'm not. I'm over her. I'm like, yeah, you can tell us that all you want, but we know what's in your heart, man. You gotta stay true to yourself. Straight up fact.
Yeah.
And so Vanilla like goes over to their house and he's like, I gotta talk to Kat. Her dad answers the door and he's like, she's not here. And she shows up right behind him and just Vanilla says, yeah, she is. She's right there. And then
Gordon just turns around
like,
shit. Okay, talk to my daughter.
But no, he's like, no, you have to leave. I don't trust you. I think you're a bad person and whatnot. And then
Vanilla, you're obviously one of these New York mobsters.
Yeah, and then Vanilla like hands them. He found an envelope on their porch. He's like, here's your mail. Yeah, it's like, here, I'm being a nice person, just picking up your mail for you and handing it to you.
Yeah.
Vanilla leaves. They open up the envelope. There is a cassette tape in there.
And
by the way, the family is aware that Tommy is missing.
Yeah.
They don't know where he is.
They're freaking out because he is gone.
So they put this cassette tape
in the most 90s boombox. I straight up think
this is supposed to be like a really serious moment, and they just get this like this cartoonish looking boombox.
I straight up think that it is Vanilla Ice. I think that they like made the scene, and then the director was like, "Oh shit, we don't have a boombox to put this in." And Vanilla Ice, the actor / musician / artist / just beautiful man,
right?
Just goes, "Yo, I got one in my car." And he goes and grabs it, and it's like this neon yellow one handle on the right side, so you hold it like a weird music case. Like those awkward heavy things, like literally anything that's awkward and heavy that you hold that is lopsided, that's this boombox, and it's neon yellow.
Oh yeah.
And then they pop in a very serious like hostage tape.
Yeah, it's like it's creepy. It's fucked up because it's Tommy
talking as the guys. He goes like, hey,
it's Tommy. I'm having a great time with my new friends here. You have to give them what they want in 24 hours or I won't be here anymore. Or some fucked up shit like that.
Yeah, like he's saying it as if it's fun because it's what they told him to say.
Yeah.
And it's coming out of this 90s
they're all like trying to figure out like what the fuck to do. And Gordon like wants to call the police, and then his wife is afraid that they call the police, they're just going to kill Tommy. It's like, yeah, this movie took a dark turn. We're talking about killing a child.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, Nick is there for whatever fucking reason.
Oh yeah, he just shows up being like, hey,
yeah. And then Gordon still thinks that Vanilla Ice is in on it, that he's one of the goons. And then Kathy's like, no, he's not. I know him. You guys don't know him. I know who he really is. It's like, no, and then Nick is like, you don't. You think you do, but you don't. And then she grabs the cassette tape and just jolts out of the house and runs down to the mechanic shop. And they play the tape at the mechanic shop.
Off of their other 90s boombox.
Yeah,
They have a lot of those.
And they're like listening to it, and Vanilla Ice is like, he hears something in the background of the tape. And he's like, hey, rewind that back. What is that? And I was desperately hoping that he was going to go like, wiki, and roll it back.
Yeah. And bring it back, and it's like, doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, here's like this doom,
It's like, yo, Jazz, drop some lines on this shit real quick. And it's like, your friends are being very nice to me, but they're going to hurt me in 24 hours if you don't.
Boom, boom.
If you don't.
Boom, boom.
If you
boom,
don't.
Boom.
If you don't, bring me back. If you don't.
Oh my God, that's so terrible. And so they're like, whoa, I know where that is. That's at the construction site.
Right, because it's the only other location that he's ever been to
in this town.
Other than that one club, the mechanic's place, Cat's house, and then just outside in the middle of nowhere construction town.
And so we cut to the construction site, and like the two goons have Tommy like bondaged up.
Oh,
like,
it's like bad. Like duct tape over the mouth. He's
roped
like roped the fuck up.
Yeah, it's
and he's in a corner of a dark, abandoned, like barely built side building.
And they're like laughing about like, yeah, how we're gonna kill you and everything and all stuff. It's so like dark.
It's dark, like literally lighting wise. Like it's very dark in the room.
Yes, literally
and they're
dark.
shining a flashlight in his face, being like, "Ha, you dumb kid,
you're gonna die. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill you." And all stuff. It's like Jesus Christ. But then
out of nowhere,
Vanilla Ice comes and saves the motherfucking day.
In the way by driving his bike through a wall. He just flies through the like barely built wall and kicks one of those guys as he busts through.
And now you think, okay, we're gonna have like a really kick-ass like fight scene here or whatnot.
No.
And it lasts literally 5 seconds.
Like I looked down to make notes being like, it's surprising that Vanilla Ice can charge at a wall and by the time he breaks through it, have the reflexes to, I mean, I don't doubt him. He's a great dancer, but he breaks through a wall and then can kick a dude to his right as he busts through a wall on his motorcycle. And that's pretty much it. And then
they looked up and then the fight was over.
And then
because
saved,
literally like
they saved
Vanilla
Tommy.
Ice just like, again, just like punch, done. I win.
And also, all of these fight scenes, the 2 fight scenes that Vanilla Ice has, because I love that he just has fight scenes, nobody fights back.
Nope.
It's just like Vanilla Ice walking around, everybody standing still and beating them down.
It's like he put the video game on like super easy.
Yeah.
So it's like, just punch, I win. Yeah, give me 3 gold stars.
I think there was like one dude at one point who was about to throw a punch and that was it. And then Vanilla Ice just like whacks him with his like fucking giant cock.
Yep. And so we come back to town with Tommy triumphantly and they had the 2 goons like, roped up. They're going to take him to the police.
Roped up to the front of their own car.
Yeah, like fucking like the Road Warrior,
Yeah. Like they are strapped to the hood of their own car. And Vanilla Ice rides up being like, yo, what's up? I brought these guys for you.
Yeah, and Tommy's safe now. See, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And Vanilla Ice also in this scene he changes hats like every scene. But in this scene, he has the tallest beanie in the world.
It is... okay, so yes, it is very tall, but the best part of it is that there's only one shot where you actually see the top of it. So JG and I were like staring at it being like, how tall is his beanie? Because the camera always cuts off just the top, so we're like, it could go on like 4 inches or like 5 feet. Like we can't tell. And it actually is.
I'm
it is
Doug
like
Dimmadome of Dimsdale Dimmadome.
It is like a straight up 2 foot beanie though. It is ridiculously tall.
And then he takes Kathy, and they ride off into the night. But then Vanilla Ice like turns back around.
Yeah.
And he's like, hold on, I forgot something. And he just like totally like just jumps his bike over Nick's stupid Corvette.
Yeah.
And then just does no damage to the car.
Goes. Yeah, no. He's just like, whoa, I just always want to do this. Straight up fact. And then he just hops over it and then rides off into the sunset. But it's moonset and it's foggy and shitty.
Yeah, and then they have they're in this club like wherever Vanilla Ice is from, and Kathy's like dancing in like this sexy dress, and then Vanilla Ice is just singing a song recapping the movie.
Yeah. The ending song is literally the plot of the film.
Yeah,
he's like, yo, I got girls in every town.
In the house, and the house is packed.
Oh yeah. That was the last line that he said in the song.
That's it.
That's the end of the song.
And that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. It was a great film.
This is a great fucking movie. Like, if you want to watch a Brando movie, but you really just don't want to watch Marlon Brando, you should watch Cool as Ice.
Yeah. Also, just a weird refresher after our last episode.
Yeah, it was rough.
I thoroughly enjoyed that film. I am very curious about, like, I do want to rewatch it just to get a grasp on it.
Right.
But this film,
it made me so happy.
I loved.
Yeah.
And I genuinely like Vanilla Ice, like not even in an ironic fashion. I think the dude's pretty fucking rad. Until I saw a photo of him, what he looks like nowadays. Right. Nothing against him, like Vanilla Ice. If you're listening to our podcast, first off, thank you. Also, wow, we did it.
Yeah.
But,
third of all, please share us with your legions of fans, Vanilla.
Yeah.
We
Mr. Ice.
Yeah, Mr. Ice. Yeah, we'll have you on an episode if you want to be on an episode.
Yeah, come on in.
Yeah,
come on
and then we can talk about Vanilla, cool as ice.
If anyone knows Vanilla Ice personally,
if anyone knows Vanilla Ice, we also want to make a movie with him. Like, we want to make On the Waterfront, but with Vanilla Ice instead. The Godfather, but with Vanilla Ice.
You heard it here, folks.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like, instead of like, what's the matter with you? Be a man. It's gonna be like, yo,
you're not a man.
You crying? Straight fact.
All right. Well, it is the end of the episode, and that means it is time.
Oh, we have to wait another week.
No, it is time for Ed Wood trivia. First of all.
Nice.
Yeah. So, if you remember last week, we introduced Ed Wood trivia. I know you all loved it so much and so dearly. So this week we got it. It's back. It's back, baby.
Yeah.
And
it's hard.
Yeah. And this week I did not come up with any multiple choice questions, so we'll just see what Remy can come up with.
So I'm just shooting from the dark. Again, I don't know anything.
Remy, here is your question for this week.
Yeah.
In his early career, Wood billed himself under a number of different pseudonyms, including Angora, in reference to Angora, his favorite female textile, and this. What's another one of his pseudonyms?
Ooh. Angora's pretty good. Honestly, that's so hard to even think of what could top that. I'm thinking something like Rusty Nail.
Is that going to be your answer?
Either that or Splint Plank.
Those are pretty good.
Okay.
The answer, though, no, you were very, very far off.
Okay, great.
The answer is Akdov Telmig, which is the backwards form of his favorite drink, the vodka gimlet.
The vodka gimlet. Can you do me a science really quick and use your handheld internet device and define me a gimlet?
So it's a cocktail. Usually a gimlet is made with gin and lime juice, but I guess he substitutes vodka instead of gin.
Wait, gimlet is just gin and lime juice?
I guess
we were just talking about that. That's all I drink.
Yeah. So you drink gimlets.
I drink gimlets all the day. I'm half Ed Wood.
Yes.
Wow.
Awesome.
Great. Good to know.
Well, that is our episode for this week.
La da 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 da.
Da. I hope you enjoyed the movie, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. And please go see the movie.
Please go enjoy the movie.
And up the score
great.
on IMDb. It deserves a higher rating, definitely.
Tell us what you think.
Yeah,
rate it up.
Yeah, tell us your thoughts. Tell us your questions, concerns, comments, whatever. Send it to us on our social media. Also, if you would like to be featured on an episode of us, if you'd like a shout out, like you're doing some cool show or whatnot, or you just want us to say happy birthday, or just say anything really, let us know.
Oh. Fan mail!
Yeah!
Let's start doing fan mail!
Yes, definitely.
It's the age of electronics, so of course we aren't going to accept mail. Well, we will accept mail.
Yeah, we just you don't know where to send it to, but if you want to send us fan email, you can do that.
It sounds so lame.
I know.
I want to open up a letter. I want to have that crinkly shit.
Yeah. If you want a shout out, you can just reach out to us on our social media accounts. It's at OOTSS Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And I think that is all for us. Next week, we're going to have another flashback episode, another throwback episode. We're going to watch Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man. Chilling in his camper van.
Yes, and we may or may not have a guest host, so we'll keep you updated.
We'll see.
With
it's still
that.
up in the air.
But we're hoping to get a really
fingers
groovy
crossed in a
guest
web-slinging fashion.
Yes. So thank you again for listening to this episode. We are off for the week, and we'll see you next week for another episode. Got anything else to say?
I love you. To the fans.
Oh, I love the fans too.
And you.
It's over.
Okay.